Hey, welcome back to the channel. We are going to go over to our friend's house. You guys seen our next door neighbors are building a new house, and we're going to do a little bit of landscaping with the TYMT 264, and we're going to use the 5-foot Hardy box blade. Now, this box blade is a nice heavy box blade. I really like the fact that it's made heavy, and that way it gives it some down pressure. Some of your cheaper box blades, they're not heavy enough, and they really just kind of like bounce along the top of the dirt. You'll see when we start using this one that you can really do some work with it. So let's get this thing hooked up. All right, this is the Pat's quick hitches, and I have really grown to love these quick hitches here. I've tried a regular hitch, just using the 3-point hitch. I've tried the square box quick hitch. The square box quick hitch is probably the easiest as long as you buy every implement matched. But I found quite a few implements on Craigslist or local paper where I can go out and buy a perfectly working implement for a lot less money, and these will work on it, whereas the square quick hitch won't always. But this is still way easier than just the traditional 3-point hitch. So let's get hooked up. So in my opinion, the box blade is probably one of the most productive dirt movers you can have for a small compact or subcompact tractor. You just got to know how to use it to make it work. To make the box blade work correctly, you have to set it up correctly. First thing you want to do is you want to have the rear blade that's facing forward. It must be making contact with the dirt. So if you run the blade tilted too far to the back, all of the pressure will ride on the back blade and it'll slide across. And if you run it too far forward, then you'll start getting into your shanks prematurely. This is another reason that I had put the rear remotes on this tractor. I have my hydraulic top link on the other tractor right now, and it's at the shop getting the rear tires loaded. So in the future, I will use the hydraulic rear top link so that I can dial in my box blade and change it for what my needs are. Right now, the only way I can change the pitch of my blade is to get off the tractor and go to the back with a crescent wrench and remove it. With the hydraulic top link, it's going to make it so much easier to operate everything from the seat. So I'm trying to make this as clear as mud. What I mean is that the box blade needs to have a slight tilt forward so that the front blade is engaging, but when your rippers are in the up position, they're not, or the shallowish position, they're not digging in really deep. So tilting forward and back, the pitch of the box blade is very important, but also it's very important that your box blade be level to your tractor from left to right. So that means both of your lower arms are level with each other when you hook up to the box blade. Otherwise, one side will have more down pressure than the other, and you'll never get that perfectly smooth finish that you're looking for. This is probably another one of the most important factors of setting up a box blade, is making sure that your left to right is level. And eventually, as you go back and forth across the dirt, the fact that the tractor's back in is level with a box blade, it'll take care of itself and really start smoothing out the dirt as you go through maybe the second, third pass. So now let's talk about setting the tractor up. Loaded rear tires are a very important thing for a tractor this size. It gives this little tractor, this gives it about 400 pounds extra weight having my rear tires loaded. Also, I use four-wheel drive. The four-wheel drive is on the tractor. And an additional thing you can do is put your heaviest attachment on your loader. If all you have is a bucket, that's fine. You can just scoop up a little load of dirt in the bucket, and that'll give you an additional ballast in the front and additional pulling power with your front tires. But the best setup is to have your rear tires loaded, and also your front weight, such as a bucket full of dirt, or in my case, I'm using the grapple. So the next thing I want to talk about is some basic box blade tips. And what I mean by that is just some general things you're going to use each time with a box blade. I run my shanks basically at the very lowest cutting point, so that if I do hit a high ridge, the shanks will partially engage. And then if you're going to really try to bust some dirt up, then obviously you'd put your shanks all the way down, and those would be your primary part of the blade that's going to engage the dirt. It's going to bust it up, and you're not going to try to carry as much dirt. You're not going to try to pull as much dirt with you when you have your shanks down all the way. That's not what it's made for. The shanks go down when you want to bust ground up, and then when you want to move dirt, you pull the shanks back up to a more reasonable position. This is not a pan. This is not a scraper. It doesn't work. It's not going to work like a big piece of equipment. These are just some limitations that you're going to have to deal with when you're using a subcompact or a small compact tractor. The next tip is going to be crisscrossing. You want to do crisscrossing patterns. What I'm saying is you want to go one way that is straight across, and then you want to go basically 90 or 45 degrees out on their next pass, or do a combination of straight passes one way and then do a combination of straight passes 90 degrees from the other. This crisscross pattern will give you a good feel. What I mean by good feel, it feels in the holes a lot better when you crisscross. And the more you crisscross in different directions, the smoother it'll get. If you do a crisscross pattern and continue to do it multiple passes over the same areas, it will become very, very smooth. And it's what the box blade excels at. So the next thing I want to talk about is feathering. Not all dirt is created equal, as you can see. Some of it here in this video right here, the clay is very hard. So what you're going to do is you're moving along. You don't want to ever come to a stop like I just did here. The type of ground changed very dramatically, very fast, plus it's going up a hill. So the ultimate thing is to keep the tractor moving forward and keep your momentum. So as you're moving along, you hit a really hard spot, you'll start hearing the engine change. It's starting to slow down. So what you want to do at that point is feather your box blade up just ever so slightly, so it takes off some of the cutting edge of the ground. You're still carrying your dirt with you. You're still carrying the load with you. Then after that, when you get to the point that you want to spread the dirt out, then you go ahead and start lifting it up, feathering it up very slowly, but intentionally, so that you're letting the dirt fall out the back. So a box blade in a skilled operator's hand can not only just flatten land or smooth it out, but you can actually change grade. And that's what I'm doing in this video. I'm changing grade. And how you do that is you've noticed, if you watch this video from start to finish, you'll notice that I keep going to the bottom of the hill and looking up. You can really see where your low spots are, where your high spots are, and how the water drainage is going to be. And that's all done from the lower part. You can see some of that from the top of the hill, but our eyes are naturally calibrated, if you will. If you look at the bottom, if you're at the bottom of the hill and looking up, you can see the grade. You can also see dips and holes and high points. So as you're doing this, each time that you go to the bottom of the hill, you're not just making a turn, you are looking for where you're going to put your next load of dirt. And that's how you can take a box blade and really do some contouring of the land to make water drain where you want it to go. So right here, I'm dropping a load of dirt off into a low spot. And what I do is I go to the bottom of the hill, I find the low spot, and I plan my next 3 or 4 loads of dirt to that spot. I go back to the bottom of the hill and I reevaluate. You're constantly going to the bottom of the hill and looking up and reevaluating where you're going to put your next groupings of loads of dirt. All right, you can look here and see you can move a ton of dirt, literally tons of dirt. You got to use with a subcompact or a compact tractor like the T264, you have to use the well methodology, which is you have to eat it one spoon at a time. But you can get some serious work done by just being patient and moving what the tractor will move. You can see right here where I'm standing, we have cut this little hill right here. We cut this down at least 4 foot over 2 hours of just moving dirt back and forth. And we've made drainage, drainage away from the house. So these are the kind of things you can do with a little tractor if you just put your mind to it and kind of think about what you're doing and take it one bite at a time. Hey, I really appreciate you watching our channel. If you wouldn't mind, hit that thumbs up. That lets the Google algorithm know that, hey, you guys like our video. Also, if you wouldn't mind, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon. That little bell icon will let you know when we put out something new. I really appreciate you watching. God bless and have a great day.